So, how did I come to Jesus? You know, most people have the story of where they were a pastor's kid, born and raised in church, and all they knew was church, and they turned away from the Lord for a little bit, became a prodigal kid, and then they came back to the Lord. My story is a little different. I myself was born and raised in the Catholic Church my entire life. My mother always kept me in a private school. She didn't want me to be in a public school. And in those private schools, they always had a foundation in God. Did I really know who he is? No, but I knew of him. The journey started in high school, where I was going through some tough things at home. In those tough things, I remember during religion class raising my hands and saying, why do I have to go to a priest to be forgiven of my sins? What makes him more better than I am? He's still a sinner. He needs to go to God himself. Why are we praying to Mary and all these saints? Isn't that idolatry? And another thing, what is the point of the rosary and all these different things? Doesn't this sound funny to you? And I remember during religion class, me causing, and I'm going to say I'm a disruptor, not in a bad way, but in a good way. I believe God uses me to shake up foundations that don't need to be there. So that happened in religion class, and the teacher couldn't answer the question. She couldn't answer it. So I was like, so what is the point of all of this? And the whole class was like, you know what? Anna's right. God knew I was going to challenge. And God knows that sometimes I'm going to ask him questions and challenge what it says in the Bible because I want to know. In my questions, those questions led me closer to the Lord. Those questions showed me, you know what? I want to find out who this Jesus is. So I began to transition out of the Catholic Church. Of course, that upset my mother. She wanted me to continue going to the Catholic Church. And yeah, from there, I started joining my aunt in her church every now and then. And I love the worship. I love the worship. And if it wasn't for my aunt, like just being someone that I could just look up to and God using, I don't know where I would be. And if you ask me, this is my personal opinion, I believe that woman's going to have many crowns or many jewels on her crowns when she gets to heaven. So I remember going to a prayer night at her church, and everyone was praying for each other. And I was so afraid to pray for somebody that I didn't do it for weeks. Every Wednesday nights, I would not pray for people because I was afraid. Now I'm on the other side praying for anybody you could think of on the street, supermarket, at my job, wherever I go. So I'm more bold in my faith. But my journey started in my questions. My journey started in me wanting to discover, who is this Jesus? My journey started from coming out of religion and walking into fellowship and relationship with the Father, and just really surrendering eventually throughout time. Fast forward, I remember getting ready to go to college after high school. I remember praying this prayer and I said, God, I want to be in a college that has you in it. I need to be in a college that has you in it. And once I picked my college, fast forward, a friend of a friend introduced me to a college ministry on campus. I joined that ministry, and I met a good friend of mine till this day, such an amazing person in my life whom I'm very blessed to be friends with through that ministry. And through that ministry, it helped develop my gifts that I didn't know was inside of me, that God has placed inside of me. And I began to teach the gospel in the ministry, and I was a campus minister as well, along with other leaders. And that ministry really was that moment that catapulted me into where I am now. And God is still using me, and you know, it's an honor to be used by him, right? Because listen, he can use anybody at any given moment. He just needs a yes, right? So I gave God my full yes. So my journey in following Jesus is not like other people's journey. Mine happened when I began to question what I didn't understand and what I needed more clarity on. And those questions brought me closer to the Father. Hopefully this video inspired you and encouraged you to want to go deeper in your relationship with Jesus Christ. Bye.